I'm going to take you through a quick troubleshooting here on this old Troy belt. This is a Pony. I'm going to show you some things here to look for if you've got one that just will not start. You know, you hit the key and it doesn't even click. Now, I've already got the battery out of this one, so it's not going to do anything, but the symptoms are the same. You hit the key and it doesn't do anything. And this is pretty easy to do. I've got this is the battery that was in that, but it does say to replace it. It's a 275 cranking amp battery. It tested out at 122 cold cranking amps from 2020. So it's 4 years old right now. So that's the first thing you want to check. Second thing you want to check, and this goes for just about any riding mower. If you set the parking brake, this when you push the pedal down, push this all the way down to park. A lot of them got the lever on the dash or whatever, but set your parking brake. The parking brake is set. You can start most mowers without being on the seat, so you don't need to be sitting on the mower to start it. Next thing I like to do is just make sure it's in neutral. That way you got nothing else to worry about there. Some mowers do have a reverse switch that can be troublesome, so this just eliminates that if you try to start it in neutral. The next thing you want to check when you've got your battery in here is just check your cables to make sure that your cables are tight and everything's hooked up properly and there's not a lot of corrosion on that. After you check that, the next thing you want to check, this could be on the dash. This is a manual engagement, so it's got a lever here to engage the blades. If that is engaged, that will not allow a lot of mowers to start. So you want to make sure that your blade engagement is turned off. It can be here, it can be the lever up here on the dash where you throw that up. It could be a button if it's electric, clutch on it to engage the blades, but make sure all that is turned off before you get too serious on anything else. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and raise up your hood and check this wire right here on your starter. Make sure this is tight, and if it is loose, take a wrench and hold this back nut so you don't spin this inside the starter. You'll twist it off inside the starter if you don't hold that, so tighten that down really well. The symptoms of this can be an absolute no start or just a click. You'll hear it just kind of a solenoid click. And speaking of solenoid, I'll show you something else on this mower. A lot of your Craftsmans, John Deere's, there's a starter solenoid up here underneath the dash. It's real easy to get to. This one is kind of a pain in the butt. This one is actually down there, so it's kind of difficult. I'll try to show you here where this is at. The solenoid on this mower is down there, so it's kind of hard to troubleshoot it. You can come in a little bit from underneath. If you got a way to jack it up, I've got it on a lift here, so it makes it easier. But the main point of this video here, I want to show you here, in the battery compartment here, and I'll give you a little tip. This just has a little wire that holds the battery in there. Take your thumb, push this over from this side, and then that'll pull right up. I see people struggling trying to stretch this over here, but just push it like this, and then pull it up on the other side and it'll come right out. Take your battery cables loose and then pull your battery out of here. It's also a good time to inspect your belts because you can see your belts. I got another video on that. I'll leave a link to that right up here if you want to check that out. But down in here, right here on the back, this is behind the battery, there is a 20 amp fuse. I've replaced them a few times. I put the new ones back in and they haven't blown on me after I replaced them. But for some reason, some of these mowers will blow the fuse. That one there is blown, and I just replaced it. And I haven't put the battery back in to try it yet, but I'll show you here at the end of the video. 99% sure that's why this thing wouldn't crank. Now, if you're working on a Craftsman, a Husqvarna, pretty much all the AYP or MTD type tractors, some John Deere's, the fuses will be up here. I think they're usually on that side over there, but check underneath the hood. It'll usually be right here along this edge where the hood closes down. Check that and make sure that fuse isn't blown. Hopefully that takes care of our problem. A lot of people just don't know to look back here, especially since it's hidden behind the battery. Unless you pull the battery out, it's almost impossible to see it. But I'll go ahead and put a new battery in it here. We already got a new fuse in it. Drop it down and hopefully we'll be cutting grass here in a minute. Alright, I got the new battery in it and I got the fuse in there that was replacing the one that was blown. Still not exactly sure why that fuse blew. Parking brake set. The choke on here. See if we got some fire. Been a while since this one ran, but at least we got our starting issue fixed now. When I first started working on this, didn't turn, didn't crank, didn't do anything with the key, and that was with the charger on it. May have a carburetor issue here. Got the famous Nicky carburetor on there that everybody loves so much. I got another video on that too if you need to know how to rebuild those carburetors. I'll put a link to that Nicky carburetor video right up here that I just mentioned. And guys, I want to say thank you too. I know Bree from the Chickanic channel sent a lot of new people. She mentioned my name in one of her videos.
He made a video where he restored one and it looked flawless. His channel is Bald Eagle 242. I will leave a link to his video in the description box below. Definitely check him out. He's one of my really good friends. You will dig his channel.
And a lot of you guys have come over, and I really do appreciate that. Huge shout out to Bria Chickanick. If you have not checked out her channel, I will tell you what, this young lady is awesome. She knows her stuff. I'll put a link down in the description to her channel too. If you have not checked her out, she truly is an amazing young lady and really knows what she's talking about. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.